Chiefs Kingdom, welcome into a brand new episode of the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Today, we're focused on some of the major weaknesses on the Chiefs roster following free agency. I think overall, this team took steps that will help them get better. The signing of Kenneth Walker is an enormous one. I love the addition of Kyrus Tonga. I think Alohi Gilman and Kader Kohu can help you out. But this team definitely took steps back on defense, especially in the secondary. And you've still got a lot of work to do on the pass rush as well. Today, we're going to focus in on 3 targets that the Chiefs could select at 13 if they want to upgrade the secondary. If they want to really improve that group, if they want to make a massive move in the right direction with a group that they really stripped back this offseason, that Brett Veach really let a lot of guys go in. Is he looking to add a younger, cheaper, and potentially even better option in this year's draft? We're going to break it down today, but before we get into it, make sure you throw a like on today's video if you want more draft content. If you want us to make a video just like this, but about pass rushers that the Chiefs could select at 13th overall. If you're sitting there going, I don't want a corner, I don't want a defensive back, I don't want a safety, I want to upgrade the pass rush. I want to hear about those kind of guys. Well, we've got that video coming up for you soon. If you like this one, if you send that message to us that that's the kind of content you guys want, then we know if you like today's video. So get down there and throw the thumbs up on it if you want to see more draft videos just like this one, more mock drafts. We've got our first 3-round mock draft out, but we're going to cook up a 7-round mock draft for you guys as well. Let us know you want it by liking today's video. And let's get into some of the guys we let walk in free agency or via trade. You lost Trent McDuffie this offseason. Obviously, I think if you were going to put one headliner on this Chiefs offseason, it's the trade of Trent McDuffie. It's the move that you made to send McDuffie to Los Angeles, to the Rams, in exchange for a first-round pick in this year's draft, number 29, a third-round pick in next year's draft, and some day 3 draft capital as well, picking up 4 total draft picks in exchange for McDuffie. So a huge haul for him. But you let Jalen Watson go, and you let Brian Cook go for nothing in return. And Brett Veach really chose the path of total reset in the secondary. I always thought it was going to be a decision. I always thought, hey, maybe you let McDuffie go, you keep Watson, or you keep Cook in that instance. But instead, we let everybody go, and now the room looks like this. And while I do, like I said off the top, like the addition of Alohi Gilman, I think he can be a plus in this room. I like the addition of Kader Kohu. If he could stay healthy, he could be strong for you at nickel, or maybe just really good depth. It'll be interesting to see how that ultimately plays out, but I would love to see them add. I don't know that Christian Fulton and Noel Williams are going to be the best 1-2 for you. At the end of the day, I feel like overall, you have a weakness here, and you have a need to add. At all of these positions, I think you could say you could upgrade over. So let's talk about our options. I think there's 3 that really make sense. Caleb Downs. If he's available for you, if the Ohio State safety is there for you at number 9, he would be a home run. Just an absolute smash of a pick. This dude is unbelievable. 4 pass breakups and 2 interceptions in 2025. I think he's truly been the best defensive back in college football, if you include corners and safeties, for not just last season, but also 2024 as well. He really has been as elite gets in his career at the college level. He has just been unbelievable. You look at the quarterback rating allowed last season at Ohio State, 47.9. If you throw it into the dirt, it is 32. So just barely better. He is everything that you want in not just a modern safety, but just a modern defensive chess piece in general. A little bit of Kyle Hamilton in there, where you can use him in multiple ways. I don't think he's going to play box linebacker for you like Kyle Hamilton can do for the Ravens, but he can absolutely play nickel corner for you. I think there's 2 different ways you could see the depth chart play out if you drafted Caleb Downs at 13. Number 1 is he slides in at nickel. At that point, Shamari Connor and Alohi Gilman stay at your safety spots. Christian Fulton or potentially Jaden Hicks. We could see Jaden Hicks slide in at free safety as well. All right, Christian Fulton would be your number 1 corner on the outside. Noah Williams would be your number 2 corner on the outside. That might be a little shaky for you, but Caleb Downs would be very strong for you at nickel. I don't think he's quite capable of being a boundary corner at the NFL level, but he could absolutely cover in the slot. Or you could keep him in his more natural position. This is probably the way things would play out, but maybe you could see him shift around a little bit. I think that's definitely likely, where he would then play free safety. At that point, you would be pushing Alohi Gilman, Shamari Connor down the roster a little bit, down the depth chart a little bit, to have Christian Fulton still out at corner 1, Kader Kohu likely sliding in at nickel, or potentially Jaden Hicks playing that nickel spot as well, and then Noah Williams in at corner 2. Either way you dice this pie, either way you go with this, either decision that you make, Caleb Downs is a day 1 game changer for this Kansas City Chiefs defense. He absolutely upgrades your unit as soon as he steps on the field, at either nickel or at free safety. Doesn't matter where you put him. He just having his presence on the field, just having a player with that much talent on the field would be an upgrade for this defense. As would our next target. As would number 2, Mansoor Delane out of LSU. Caleb Downs was the best defensive back in the country, but Delane was easily the best defensive back in the SEC in 2025. And arguably the best defensive back in the ACC in 2024, where he played at Virginia Tech. Transferred over to LSU in 2025. He's 6'1", 190-pound defensive back, or corner really specifically, and the numbers are ridiculous with him at LSU and Virginia Tech. 13 pass breakups, 2 picks in 2025, allowed a 26.7 quarterback rating into his coverage. 2024, he was unbelievable for Virginia Tech with 11 PBUs and 4 picks, entered the portal as one of the highest rated and most hyped up recruits, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but really just in general. For those that follow the college transfer portal, I know you remember that as well. This is how I think the depth chart would look if you brought in Delane. He immediately slides in as corner number 1. He's better than Christian Fulton day 1. Absolutely he is. He is significantly better, I think, day 1, with a ceiling to become even more special for you in the long term. But that would push Noah Williams a little bit down the depth chart, which I don't necessarily think is the worst thing in the world. Obviously, I like Noah Williams a lot. Obviously, I believe in Noah Williams' talent. I've made that clear on the show before. I think he could be a really great long-term piece for this team. But is he ready to be a starting corner next season from week 1? I don't know. I think that's a tough position to put him in. That's a lot to bet on him in. Maybe he starts in the nickel. Maybe he starts in the slot over Kader Kohu as those guys compete. It's going to be interesting. Kader was I always have him start in the nickel. I know a lot of people go Jaden Hicks with that, or a lot of people have Jaden Hicks start over Shamari Connor at free safety and then slide Connor in the nickel. There's a number of different things you could do with this DB depth chart, and I don't think any of them are necessarily the wrong answer. I just put Kohu in there because of what he was able to do for the Dolphins all the way back in 2024, but that's 2 years ago at this point. We don't really know what he's going to look like coming off of an ACL tear. That's going to get settled out in training camp. So not necessarily get married to everything that's going on in this depth chart, but just know that Delane is stepping in as corner number 1 and Downs is stepping in as an immediate starter at either free safety or nickel. If you bring in either of these two guys, you have a day 1 starter and you have a day 1 game changer. You have an unbelievable chess piece on your defense, either at boundary corner or at a number of different spots with Caleb Downs, likely free safety or nickel corner, that upgrades everybody around them. We talk about force multipliers a lot on this channel. These guys are both force multipliers for your secondary. Let me know which one of them you want. We're going to talk about a third option in a minute here, but I really do view these two guys as the cream of the crop, the elite picks. If we could just take our pick, it would be one of these two guys. I can't say you're wrong for either of them, but I want to know, what does the kingdom think? Give me an MD, like a doctor, if you're going with Mansoor Delane. Give me a CD if you're going with Caleb Downs. I think there's something for CD there as well. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but give me a CD for Caleb Downs, the safety, potential nickel corner as well. Give me an MD for Mansoor Delane, the lockdown boundary corner. And let's move into our final option, Jermod McCoy. Another outside corner, another really good player. I really do think he's going to be off the board in the top 15. You could take him at 9, absolutely. But the reason I separate him from these two guys, even though he was great when he played in college, is how high risk he is. I truly believe it's hard to sell me on the idea that spending the 9th overall pick on a guy who dealt with the injuries is the right move. Missed all of 2025 with an ACL injury. But in 2024, you go back to that season, he was arguably just as good or better than Mansoor Delane was last year at LSU. It's tough, right? It's just more high risk at the end of the day. It's been 2 years since he did this, or it'll have been 2 years by the time he suits up for you. It's a long way. It's been a long road to recovery for him since an offseason injury, and I believe it was April of 2025. He tore his ACL. But you look at the numbers with this kid, and it's hard not to like what you see when he is on the field. Even all the way back in 2023, he's always on ball productive. He is a chance taker in coverage. I think Delane could be described as that as well. Both of these guys, they're going to take their shots to make plays on the football. You don't get 22 pass breakups over the course of 2 seasons without being a little bit of a risk taker. And you'll give up some big plays to do that, but you'll also get 6 interceptions and 22 PBUs, a total of 28 disruptive on-ball plays in coverage for Jermod McCoy between 2023 and 2024. Delane is similar. McCoy, both of these guys, disruptive on-ball ball hawks who can be lockdown number 1 corners at the NFL level. It all just kind of comes down to, between the two of them, the only real separator, the only real differentiator is McCoy's injury history. So how worried are you about the ACL? How does it play for you? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 is I don't care. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. He's just like Christian Gonzalez, who dealt with injuries his senior season at Oregon, comes back and is great. He dealt with injuries his rookie year as well, came back absolutely fantastic. Is that your opinion on it? Give me a 1. If you think he has to be off the board, if you think he's undraftable because of these issues, then give me a 10. Let me know, how worried are you about Jermod McCoy's ACL injury and the potential recovery or potential future re-injury risks associated with it? But once again, like we talked about with Mansoor Delane, McCoy, if you drafted him and if he was able to stay healthy, immediately slides in as your corner number 1. He pushes Fulton down the depth chart. He pushes Noel Williams down the depth chart. Maybe Noel slides into nickel like we talked about last time. All of that pretty much plays out the same, but it's all just determinant much more on McCoy staying healthy. And of course, injury risk exists for every NFL player, but when you've got a history with an ACL, which we know just medically it's the case, and I'm not a doctor, but when you tear your ACL once, there's an increased risk that you will re-injure that ligament again in the future. It's absolutely true. And I just can't get behind spending the number 9 overall pick on it. It's hard for me to do that. This is an extremely valuable selection for the Chiefs. You don't get a lot of number 9 overall picks when you have Patrick Mahomes. Can't take a huge risk on a guy with significant injury concerns with it, in my opinion. I think you're best off investing in Delane or Downs if they're available. If neither are there, then McCoy becomes a more interesting conversation. But if you have the chance to take Delane or to take Downs, you take one of those 2 guys, and you know you've immediately massively upgraded your secondary. That's going to do it for us on today's episode of the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your time here, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and let's go Kansas City Chiefs.